Hey, loves, today we are going to completely dehypnotize ourselves from any past or negative self belief that we do not want and is stopping us from manifesting our specific person. Because truly, we are accidentally hypnotizing ourselves to something we don't want. And if we just switch that around, we're going to see a huge change in our manifestation, and it's going to happen so fast. So, welcome. Today is day 9 of our 14 days of love, where you are going to manifest your specific person for Valentine's Day. So remember, we just got 5 after today, 5 more days, and then it's going to be Valentine's Day, and you're going to be in the perfect relationship, in the perfect state with your specific person. So do not stop now. Don't give up. Don't slow down. Everything is happening perfectly. And so as always, I always want to set the proper intention. So right after you give a thumbs up on this video, I want you to write down below, I am no longer hypnotized by previous self-beliefs. Okay? I am no longer hypnotized by previous self-beliefs. Because the crazy thing is, at this very moment, you are being hypnotized. I know, it sounds crazy, and I know sometimes we don't accept it or we don't want it. But truly, if you have certain beliefs, certain ideas, certain desires, things like that, then we are always, at basically any given time, being hypnotized. And I'll explain what that means. So whether it is a belief from your friend, from your family, from strangers, from something you thought up, if we are believing or having any sort of belief at all, it basically is a hypnosis, right? It is something that we found ourselves believing in. And beliefs can either help us or work against us. But every single belief is basically like a hypnosis, because it's something, because truly, there is no value. You have every single state that you could ever imagine within. So if you ever feel stuck in thinking your specific person doesn't like you, or they don't want to be with you, or anything negative, you're not worthy of love, that's all hypnosis. But also, so is the feeling of being worthy, being loved. That's also a hypnosis in the positive. But every single thing happening is hypnotizing us for the good or hypnotizing us for the bad. So we're going to de-hypnotize ourselves from any sort of bad thing that is happening. Because again, if we accepted any sort of idea or belief outside of us, we were hypnotized to think that way. And it doesn't have to be that way. So remember, you are worthy of love. Even though things are happening around us that may make us feel like we aren't, or if we're not seeing the results we want, this is all a hypnosis, right? You already have your manifestation. Your specific person is desiring and loving and wanting to be with you right now. So the thought ever in the opposite is a basically hypnotization, if that's a word. You're basically being hypnotized that you're not. So maybe you were hypnotized that you are unloving, that you are not worthy, that you can't have what you want. That's okay. But remember, the fact of the matter is that that is just a hypnosis, and it is not true. And so let's take, for example, one of those specific hypnotizations. I don't actually, honestly, comment if that's a word. I don't know if that's a word. Let's take the specific hypnosis of, now hypnosis doesn't even sound like a word to me anymore. Take the hypnosis that we are feeling inferior. Okay, let's take that one, that we're not good enough, that we're not worthy. And so anyone feeling that way right now, we're going to de-hypnotize you right here in this moment. So the reason that we ever feel inferior is because we are no longer measuring ourselves against our norm. We begin measuring it by someone else's norm. Okay, so we are no longer like, what is it that I want? What is it that I can do? What is it that I can believe? We start to create or compare ourselves to someone else. And this is what causes that feeling of inferiority. But again, I know I've said hypnosis 100 times. That is all just a hypnosis on us within our reality right now. Because the truth and the fact of this concept is we are not inferior, but we are also not superior. You are just you, right? And your desires are absolutely meant for you. And when we begin to then push or create or have this feeling that something outside of us is intruding upon us, or we're not good enough, or we have to meet up to some other standard. Who told you that? Right? Who said that you had to do that? Who said that you had to work really hard for your manifestation? Who said that your specific person can't love you? Who said this? Who said that? And if we really get down to this hypnosis that is working on us every single moment of the day, we're going to realize that it all came from something outside of us. Right? Again, like the hypnosis from friends, from family, from strangers, right? This hypnosis and feeling that we're not good enough. And sometimes we accidentally hypnotize ourselves. But the truth is, this is not real. This is not your reality. This feeling of inferiority is just not true. You cannot feel inferior because you just aren't. Again, the truth of the matter is we're not inferior. We're not superior. You are you. Okay. And that's how, if you want to think of your higher self, pull Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy ideas, that's how God or your higher self sees you. Every single person is unique in their own way. Right. And do you think, and really quickly, if you do feel as if you are, let's say we are in the state of inferiority and we just don't feel that way, we compare ourselves to others. Again, this is what happens too when we compare ourselves to success stories. We feel inferior because we're comparing to someone else's norms. But those are not your norms. You're hypnotizing yourself thinking that you should be somewhere else, but you're perfect as you are and where you're at. But think about it in this way. Think of your higher self or God or anything, and then take this idea that you feel inferior. Do you think God would put out an inferior thing, person, entity, human? Do you think your higher self would put out an inferior person, human, or entity? No, they would never, ever do that, right? That would not be even a possibility that God could do that. Your higher self can't do that. It's impossible, right? Can God create something inferior? Or would they even want to, right? No, they would not. You are not inferior. You are hypnotized to think that you are based on your outcomes, based on your experiences, and based on your beliefs. But you can hypnotize yourself just in the opposite, that you are superior, you are great, you are awesome. Now, really, you are perfect and awesome as you are. Again, maybe not superior was the best word, because we're not inferior, we're not superior. You are you. You have massive intelligence in areas that no one else has. You have things about you that are so unique and so perfect. And as soon as we remember that we only want to compare ourselves to our own norms and to no one else's, then we're going to see this awesome, amazing outcome begin to occur and happen outside of us in the quickest way possible. But I do have a specific way that you can actually use, or something you can specifically use in order to pull yourself out of this negative hypnosis, because you are worthy and deserving of everything you could ever want. You can try to hypnotize yourself as much as you can, but you are never not going to be worthy of it. So here's going to be the way to completely dehypnotize yourself of whatever negative belief or negative worry that you're having. Because truly, your subconscious mind isn't working against you. There's nothing in your subconscious that is causing you to work against yourself or do something negative or not get what you want. It really all is taking place within our conscious mind. Our subconscious just wants to work out what we are planting via our conscious mind. Think of it in the way that Neville Goddard used the conscious mind as the masculine, the one impregnating or seeding the subconscious, which is the feminine, and the feminine, then the subconscious, creates exactly what we want. So to think that something is within our subconscious mind hurting us or working against us actually is just not true. Like this thought that you could be hypnotized in an area that's outside of your conscious mind is, again, totally untrue, because it is within your conscious mind that makes you have feeling, right? If you are thinking upon something you don't want or something that you can't have, that's what causes the negative feeling, not anything within you, because your subconscious just wants to basically act out exactly what you are thinking and you're assuming. It does not have a right or wrong. It just wants to create what you are thinking. And in the same way that no seed gets planted, but within our conscious mind, or from our conscious mind, that is, our subconscious cannot plant these ideas. So don't think that this hypnosis has to be something really difficult to move around. If we change our conscious mind, we are going to see a change in our subconscious and see a change in manifestation and see the different outcome with us and our specific person. Everything is basically going to be different just by asking ourselves this. And it's a more in-depth technique than I previously had used, because really in the past, I always would talk about anytime you got a belief that you don't want, and this is going to be the technique to pull you out of this hypnosis, to dehypnotize yourself of feelings of not feeling worthy, non-abundance, that you don't have your specific person. It could be as easy as that. So the trick is to ask yourself, after any one of these beliefs, ask yourself why. Why is this the case? If I'm unworthy, why am I unworthy? If I don't feel good enough, why don't I feel good enough, right? And so basically, anytime, if you want your specific person to pursue you, if you want them to chase after you, if you want them to text you more, call you more, love you more, ask you out for Valentine's Day, right? This is the whole purpose of these 14 days of love. Be with you for Valentine's, bring you flowers, this, that. If you answer to any of those things, if I say, can you do this? And you say, I can't, that is a trigger that we are hypnotized, okay, in a way that we don't want. So ask yourself, after anything you say can't, ask yourself why. Okay. And I have a little 4-step process that's going to do this, but ask yourself why, and then ask yourself, is this belief based upon an actual fact or upon an assumption or a false conclusion? I wrote this out in this way. So remember this. Ask yourself, is this belief based upon an actual fact or upon an assumption or a false conclusion? Because this, now things are probably clicking and we're thinking, okay, now we might be actually thinking or fully realizing that these hypnotic tendencies that we're in, that we feel like we can't, are totally within either, again, I would say almost right that it's not based upon a fact, it's based upon an assumption or a false conclusion. Because really, and I know we don't have to get into it in this video, but there really is no such thing as a fact in our reality. So here's the 4-step process to pull you out of this and to dehypnotize yourself of anything that you feel is not helping you. So again, if you feel your specific person can't reach out to you, can't call you, you guys can't spend Valentine's Day together, any can't, go through these 4 steps. So the first one is and there are questions to ask yourself. Ask yourself, is there any rational reason for such a belief? Okay, so if you think my specific person can't come to me on Valentine's Day, why, right? Is there any rational reason that we feel we can't? Because just because we're not seeing it right now doesn't mean that we can't see it in the future. 2 is to ask yourself, could it be that I am mistaken on this belief? And I'll give you a little hint. If there's any sort of can't towards something you want, you are in fact mistaken, but just ask yourself, could it be that I am mistaken on this belief? The third question to ask yourself is, would I come to the same conclusion about some other person in a similar situation? If your specific person, or if your best friend was manifesting a specific person, would you say the same thing about them, that they can't do it, that they're unable, that it's impossible, their SP can't be blowing up their phone? Would you say that to them? And I know you're already thinking, I'm thinking it too. You would never say that. You would absolutely never say it, but still ask yourself that question. Would I come to the same conclusion about some other person? Put in even your best friend. Would I come to the same conclusion about your best friend in a similar situation? And this is actually a method I talked about in the past called the double standard method, but we can always go back to that in the future. And the fourth and final question that you're going to ask yourself is, why should I continue to act and feel as if this were true if there's no good reason to believe it? And with all, I guess I'll repeat that one more time. Why should I continue to act and feel as if this were true if there's no good reason to believe it? And don't just like pass up on these questions really quick. Really think about them, dive within them, ask really dive into these ideas, wrestle with them, think hard about them, get emotional about them. Again, one is ask yourself, is there any rational reason for such a belief? Could it be that I am mistaken on this belief? Would I come to the same conclusion about my best friend in a similar situation? And 4, why should I continue to act and feel as if this were true if there's no good reason to believe that? Ask yourself that, and you're going to totally dehypnotize yourself of any sort of situation, thing, because you're going to realize that you can see you cheated yourself and sold yourself short, not by some fact that was stopping you, but only because of belief. So the only reason you aren't already with your specific person is not some fact, some not crazy thing that your friend said or your family or a stranger said. It all has to do with a belief. And so really quickly, as you guys know, I always do, I always want to include a success story in here. So I'll put it up. It is from an email coaching session. And so I want you to focus on, because there's this whole email, focus on the last part. So look at their success. So this week actually felt really positive and peaceful. My SP texted me on Sunday. We talked almost every day or all day. He was very flirty and we talked back and forth about football. We FaceTimed in the evening, and then they go on to all these other magnificent and awesome things that I couldn't include because it had personal information. But I know on the surface, you're like, this doesn't really make sense. But this person before this point was completely hypnotized that they were not worthy of what they wanted, that they couldn't have it. It was impossible. It was so hard to achieve. They could only basically relive the same thing over and over and over again, right? And that's how we feel. But when we get out of this hypnosis, things like this begin to change and come to us very quickly. Okay. And so that's what we always want to be thinking about. That's what we need to constantly keep our mind on. What are we hypnotizing or accidentally hypnotizing ourselves to do? And then we need to basically ask ourselves those 4 questions so we are no longer hypnotized by that at all. So hopefully this gets you into this feeling and this idea that you are not unworthy. You are not loved. These were all hypnotizations again. I don't think that's a word still, but you're basically being hypnotized to think that you can't have this thing that you are worthy and deserving for. Again, thank you guys so much for stopping by today. So a quick announcement. So for all my members, I was like, I'm wondering what to kind of do, because we absolutely, and applause to everyone. Thank you guys so much for the support. We actually reached 200 members in our community, in the Manifest Your Dream Life community. And it's so awesome. I'm loving it. You guys I love all the support. It's so positive. It's so abundant. You guys are getting so much successes. And I was always thinking, okay, so I always want to do a giveaway every time this happens. And last time I gave away a free coaching session, but I'm going to do 2 things, okay? So for all of my members, I want to give out. So I have a workshop called Manifest Love at First Sight that I want to give to all of my members, okay? So I'm going to make a post. So if you're not a member and you want to hop in right now and join, absolutely hop in. It's basically all about, it's perfect for Valentine's Day, manifesting love at first sight. So in this instance of getting into this love, getting into this feeling, and as soon as your specific person sees you, thinks about you, they're going to instantly fall in love with you. So that's the first one. And then 2, I'm going to give away a 60-minute video coaching session to someone random, because I was like, I want to do the coaching giveaway as well as help every single person who is a member. So those are the 2 things. And so if you do want to become a member, or you are a member, I'm making a post that is, if you want to join in the giveaway of the free 60-minute video coaching session where we meet one-on-one, if you want to hop in on that, I have a post in the community section for my members, in which you can I'll be like, do you want to join in this? And just comment yes, comment a heart, comment whatever it is, and then you can join in that giveaway. And I'm so excited. Thanks again so much. It's crazy. That's like crazy. We have 200 people in the members, 200 people who are going to be manifesting their specific person in the quickest and easiest way possible. Because remember, I have my own manifestation to reach 10,000 success stories in my members and in my coaching. So that is something that if you want to join in again, definitely just continue watching the videos, continue supporting me. Thanks again just for watching this video. Thank you so much. Again, if you did want to join in on that giveaway, just to become a member, or if you're already a member, just hop over to that tab. And I'm so excited excited for you to see the workshop. You are absolutely going to love it. So it's actually a 60-minute lecture and a 21-page workbook. So on the first page of the workbook, click the link to the lecture. You're going to watch the whole thing. And then it does have like a workbook and like a little slideshow thing that goes along with it. I think you guys are going to love it. And it's actually perfect for this time coming up to Valentine's Day. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. If you did have any questions or comments on this idea, remember also to comment that original intention. So I am no longer hypnotized by previous self-beliefs, but only comment after you've liked the video. If you did want to send me a personal question, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. I would absolutely love to hear from you, hear all your thoughts, anxieties, worries, successes, everything. I am so open and loving and hoping to just basically hear more about your situation because I want to help you get to where you want to go. Thanks again so much for stopping by today. Remember, for all the members, make sure to check out the meditations I've been putting out every single day. Really use those to get into the state, as well as the daily affirmation, journaling prompt, and visualization. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. Again, I can't thank you enough. The 200 members, that is absolutely crazy. It's just crazy. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to see you in the next video tomorrow.